Hello my dear student, welcome to Nagesh Karasgi Orchid School channel. Myself Hina Patel going to teach you 7th grade mathematics. Already we had started with a chapter visualizing solid shapes. Today we are going to have a visualization of a solid objects. What will be the shadow, or we can say what will be the shape of an object when light is passed through it. So, we will have some introduction of that, then we will try to solve some examples of an exercise. So, your concept will be more clear. So, we will start with some objects. Here are the visualizing the solid objects. How many cubes? Yes, how many cubes are there? That you have a questions in front of your eyes. Sometime when you look at the combined shape, some of them may be hidden from your view. Yes, when it is an 3D figures or 3D objects, when it is arranged, some sides will be not visualized, or we are unable to see the view of some side. Here are some of the activities you could try it in your free time to help you visualize the some solid objects and how they look. Take some of the cube and arrange them as shown in the figure. You had played with some of the cube when you were in the small, in the lower classes. So, you were arranging the cube. That time you were not having a knowledge of that, what will be the view of that cube. You are having some task or some preparation of some figure. Here we have to arrange some cube and we have to count that how many cubes are there. So, what will be the cubes which are not in our vision or which are hidden from our view. Here are some arrangement of a cube that you can see this arrangement and you can count how many number of cubes are required. Here also you can arrange in this way the cubes and you can count, or you can have a practice of that how many cubes are hidden, but we know that this shape will show the number of cubes in this figure. So, we will see this. Now, you have to do this activity and you can find out by observing this view, and you can find out the number of cube required for the given shapes which you are going to form. Now, here such visualization is very helpful. Suppose you form a cuboid by joining such cubes, these are the cubes, but when you join you will form an cuboid. You will be able to guess what the length of and the breadth and the height of the cuboid would be. So, you after joining you can find out what will be the length, breadth and the height of a cuboid when you will join some cubes. Here we will see here, if the two cubes of the dimension 2 centimeter by 2 centimeter by 2 centimeters are placed side by side, what would be the dimension of the resulting cuboid? So, when the cube means all the sides are equal, that is length, breadth and height, the dimension is given to us. So, you can see by the dimension you can say that it is a cube or cuboid. So, here we are having a cube. So, when you join this cube you will find an cuboid. How to find out what will be the solution? As you can see the figure, when kept side by side, the length is the only measure which increases, it becomes a 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 centimeter. When you keep aside this cube, so the length is 2 centimeter, the another cube which you had kept aside is another cube that is having 2 centimeter. So, you can say that the length will be 2 plus 2. If you are arranging third more cube here, it will be 2 plus 2 plus 2. So, length will increase, but the breadth will be 2 centimeter, and the same will be the height as 2 centimeter. There will be the increase in the length when we keep the cube side to side, or we can say one after the another. So, we can find out that cuboid with a length, the different length, and the breadth and the height will be the same. You can find out, you can do an activity at home. So, you will understand what will be the length, the breadth and the height will remain the same. Now we will see visualizing the different sections of a solid. Now, let us see how an object which is in 3-dimensional figure, or that we can say 3D, can be viewed in the different way. One way to view an object is by cutting or slicing, the slicing game. We will see here is a loaf of a bread. It is like a cuboid which with a square face. You slice it with a knife. When you give a vertical cut, you get several pieces as shown in the figure. This is a bread loaf which looks like a square at the top, but it was in the loaf which is in the cuboid form. Now, when you slice this, slicing the bread vertically, what will be the figure you will look like, or we can say from the figure what are the different pieces of a bread having the square face, or each of the piece will be looking like a square. We call this face a cross section of the whole bread. We are cutting the bread loaf into the pieces of a bread in the cross section. So, each and every bread slice will have a square, or we can say the face as a square. So, of this whole bread, the cross section is nearly a square in this cross. In this case, all the bread will be the square. So, be aware, if you cut is not vertically, you may get a different cross section. We had done vertically cut. If we do not do the vertically cut, then we will not have the same section when cross sections we had cut. So, we will get the same piece of a bread, and if you by mistake you will not cut vertically, the vertical section, it will look some different. Think about it, the boundary of the cross section you obtain is a plane curve, or do you notice it? If we cut it into vertical cut, we will get the bread pieces, or I can say slice of a bread. If we cut horizontal, we will have only 2 parts of a bread loaf, which will be in rectangular form, and the what we say the faces of will not look like a square. So, you have to just imagine, if I cut from the horizontal way the bread loaf, it will not give the same view. So, in a kitchen play, have you noticed the cross sections of some of the vegetables when they are cut for the purpose of cooking in the kitchen? Observe the various slices and get aware of the shapes that results as a cross section. The similar example we have taken here is a bread loaf. You can go for the cucumber, when you will have a vertical cross section, you will have all pieces which we are getting in the bread is a square face, you will get there as a circle face. So, when you will cut at horizontal, the piece will be different. the view will be the different. Play with this, make a clay or a plus models of the following solids and make a vertical or a horizontal cuts. Draw the rough sketches of a cross sections you obtain and name them wherever you can. If you cut the bread loaf, you will find this the cross section of a one piece. Again I told, when you will go for the cucumber, if you have a big piece of a cucumber, you will find in this shape. Then some triangular shape which you can do with a clay molding. Even the circle I told you, cucumber, when you will go to cross sections of a cucumber, you will get a face as an circle, even the cone shape. So, this by seeing this of the cross sections, or we can say you can, if it is possible to label, you can label it which is the shape or the view you will find after the cross section. Now, we will see some of the example related to the exercise. So, it will be more easy for you to understand. Here, what cross section do you get when you give a vertical cut or a horizontal cut to the following solid figure? Now, you know vertical cut and horizontal cut, we had seen the examples. So, we will see first what will be the vertical cut of a brick. You know brick, when we build a house, we use a brick. We are nowadays we are having a cement brick also. So, you can imagine that brick, and if we cut it, how it looks in the vertical cut, as well as we have to imagine how it looks in horizontal cut. Then round apple, what will be the vertical cut as well as horizontal cut. A dice which is in a cube form, what will be the both the views, that with the cross sections of a vertical as well as horizontal cut. A circular pipe, nothing but a cylinder shape or cylindric pipe, that is nothing but circular pipe. And ice cream cone, which is a 3D figure, is nothing but an cone. So, we will see the cross sections of the given solids one by one. So, you have to draw this brick, you know brick which is a rectangular in shape, or we can say it is a 3D because it is a solid which will have a length, breadth and height. So, it looks like a cuboid. So, a brick, we can give a vertical cut to an brick in the following way. Suppose this is a brick, if we cut as a vertical, we will have a two piece of a brick, So, one piece will be having the same length as well as the height which we had shown here. So, just we had cut and we had drawn this one piece here and one another piece, which will be having the same the rectangular shape at the front, because we are not cutting here as we are cutting as a vertical cross section. So, this will be the very similar to both pieces will be showing us an view of an rectangle. Now, we can give a horizontal cut to the brick in the following way. If we cut a brick from the horizontal, so same brick you will find out, but the thickness of the brick will be less because we are cutting its horizontal. So, if we have a horizontal cut, the bricks will look in this way. So, in this way the thickness, see the thickness is reduced, but the structure what you are finding as an rectangular shape, it will be the same. Here even the another piece of brick will be the showing the same rectangular shape but only the thickness will be less. So, what are the things? Vertical cut, we will have this type of a two pieces and which will have both the rectangles will look like a similar. This is vertical cut, and horizontal cut we will have a two pieces of a brick which will be having a thickness less as compared to the given brick, but it will remain the same. You can imagine here when you had taken the bread loaf, you had sliced into a vertically breads. So, how many breads which will be looking very similar. So, only the thickness of a bread was different. So, in this way when you cut the brick in the cross section, that is vertical as well as horizontal, it will look similar. Now, we will see a round apple. Round apple is nothing but a circular. We can give a vertical cut to a round apple in the following way. So, when you will do the vertical cut, we will have a two halves of an apple, or we can say two pieces of an apple which will be having a circle on the both the side. Both the pieces will have a circular shape. So, we will have a round shape here, or we will have that when we will cut it vertically. You can take a imagine a lemon also here, a round apple it is given, you can imagine a lemon which will show the similar. So, here when we will cut this vertically, we will have the two halves of an apple with an circle at the top. So, that is a vertical cut. We will see a horizontal cut. We can give a horizontal cut, but the round apple in the following way. If this is a round apple, when it will be circle we had shown, we will cut a horizontal, it will be looking like a similar to that of an vertical cut. So, here again we will cut from the in the horizontal way, again we will have a circle shape at the top, or the upper view will be the circular, or we can say it again we will get a two halves of an apple. So, we can say here in the round shape or round apple which we had taken the example, horizontal as well as vertical cut will show the circle. It depends on the size, which will be the circular will be showing as a bigger circle, or if it is a vertical section will be showing a smaller circle. It depends on the size of an apple. A dice, you know dice, already we had learned in the previous session also, and you are playing with a dice. So, you know that dice is nothing but it is an cuboid. It is a cube where all the sides of the dice is equal, having the faces, edges and vertex. So, we can give an vertical cut to an die in a following way. So, we will see this is your die. When we cut it vertically, we will have two similar parts will be very similar to it, showing an square faces, both the faces will be the square. Here when we cut it horizontal, here we have shown with a dotted line is nothing but imaginary line. So, we can find out again we will have the similar dice is divided into two equal parts, but here the thickness will be the less. Thickness you can find out, thickness will be the less. So, here what we had find out was an large square here, but here what we will find out is nothing but an rectangle. So, when it is vertical cut, we will have this type of a structure. You have to draw this, giving a dotted line here. So, it is nothing but imaginary line. When we are cutting it vertically, so we will have the two type of a structure. So, you have to draw these two figure here and you have to show the face or the front view of this dice. Similarly, when we do the horizontal, we have to show it by dotted line and we have to draw this both the figures and we have to show it that it will look like an square only, but here the thickness will be the less. Now, we will see a circular pipe. A circular pipe is nothing but we are using in our plumbing, and that is the hollow pipe. We will see what will be the vertical cut, how it looks, and when we will do it horizontal cuts, how it looks. Even we can consider a straw, which is nothing but a cylindrical or in shape, which is a circular pipe. We can give a vertical cut to and circular pipe in the following way. If you cut vertically, if the length is 5 centimeter, if you cut it vertically, you will get a 2 centimeter, 2.5, 2.5 or 2 or 3 centimeter where you put the cut, but it will look like a small circular pipe. So, here after this vertical cut, we will have a 2 pieces of this pipe and again it will look like a circle. So, we will have both the piece of the pipe will give a circular shape. So, this is vertical cut. Now, we will see about the horizontal cut. We can, when we give a horizontal cut, means it is shown with a dotted line, we will have 2 pieces in this way, that will be having a, here will be the rectangle in shape, but here the what we have shown, the circle will be a semicircle. When we are cutting it horizontal, we will find this structure as a rectangular strip here at the top when we cut from here. Now, ice cream cone, we can give an vertical cut to an ice cream cone in the following way, vertical cut as well as horizontal cut, which we have to do it. If we cut a vertical cut of ice cream cone from here, what will be the 2 parts of this ice cream cone will look like in this shape. Just imagine if you prepare a cone shape with a paper, when you cut from the middle, that is you are dividing it vertically, you will have 2 pieces of that paper in the similar way. Now, how it looks? It will look like in this shape, which will be a curve at the top. This is the V shape, we can say, and the curve at the top. So, this after cutting vertically, it will look like this. And when we cut it horizontal, this is a cone shape. When you want to cut it horizontal, it will look in this way. After cutting this horizontally, you will get a cone which is at the top, it is a broad circle, big circle we can say, and thus you will get another small circle, with the lower part will have a small circle here. So, these are the horizontal and the vertical view of this. Now, we will see some of the how it will look under the, if you pass the light through the solid object. A bulb is kept burning just right above the following. So, the name the shapes of the shadow obtained in the each cases attempt to give a rough sketches of the shapes. You may try this experiment and answer the question. Suppose this is a bowl, when the light is passed from the top, what will be the shadow of it? Now, this is a cylindrical shaped pipe. We can say when it is light is passed through the cylindrical pipe, what will be the shadow of this? This is open book. When the light is passed through this, what will be the shadow of this book? One by one we will say. See here, the shape of the shadow of this figure will be as follow: a ball. This is the light, this is our original ball which is given in the question. What will be the shadow of this ball? Yes, yeah, you can try this experiment at home also, taking a torchlight in a hand and keeping the any object in front of it and just see the shadow of it. The shape of the shadow of a ball will be in a circle. It will be showing us a 2D figure which will show as a circle. Now, what will be this? Cylindrical pipe will show the shadow of an rectangle. Yes, yes, when we will light is pass at top of this object, we will have an shadow in a rectangular shape. Here the shape of an shadow when it is open book, when light is passed through the open book, or we can say it is at the top when bulb is on, we will have a shadow of the open book like a rectangle. The shape of the shadow of the book will be a rectangle. So, in this way when light is passed through the solid object, what will be its shadow? Just we had seen, you can try it, very easy, it is activity is very easy. Here we will see the now shadows already we had find out in such a way that a circle, rectangle. Here are the some shadows of and some of the 3D objects are given to us when seen under the lamp of an overhead projector. Identify the solid that matches each of the shadow. Now, already when the light or the lamp was overhead, we had find this type of a shadow of the we had seen taken as object as a book. One was an pipe and one was the example of an ball. So, when the light was passed overhead through this object, we will have an shadow, or we can say 3D figure, we have a different shadow. Here the shadows are given to us, we have to find out to which it matches through the 3D objects. One by one we will see a circle. It gives a shadow can be obtained in the cases of the following object. Circle here is given to us a compact disc, it is a sphere. You can take a example as a ball, and the cube shadow which is given here, which is a square, what will be that object shadow of this object will be a cube. So, only we get a shadow as an square. So, that is nothing but you can take an example of a dice, or I told you that day you can have if you are having a cube shaped gift box, it will also show the shadow as a square. Then a cone is nothing but which will have a shadow as an triangle, which is the example of a cone. Or triangular pyramid also gives the shadow of an triangle. So, here we can go for the two examples, that is cone shape, that is cone also, as well as triangular pyramid. Now, the rectangular shadow, here we are having the object will be a cuboid, a notebook, or you can take any solid object. You can have a shoe box which is a rectangular in shape, even a shirt box which is rectangular in shape, or your notebook which is rectangular in shape, which will give the shadow of a rectangle. So, these are the example we had seen, and what are the shadow of the solid which will be given as a square, circle, or triangle as well as rectangle. So, here some of the examine the following of the true or false statements are given to us. A cube can cast a shadow in the shape of a rectangle. Yes, it is a true or false. A cube can cast a shadow in a shape of a hexagon. A cube can cast the shadow only in the shape of a square, that is, and therefore, any other shapes are not possible, that is a hexagon will not give a shadow of a cube. So, we can say that given statements are false. So, my dear student, you have understood, we had learned about the today's 3D figures and the shadow of it, and what will be the shadow, the square, circle, rectangle, and we had tried to find out the object which will give the such type of a shadow. I told you can do the activity with the help of a torchlight, taking a small objects, and you can find out the shadow of it. Thank you very much.